Good morning. Today is Tuesday the 1st of June and I've just finished a run. I did 3.3 miles on my bad leg and it just about held out. It's really sore now, but it held out a bit better than I thought it would. I really wanted to record this virtual run and unfortunately the main thing I wanted to record was the garlic, which you can kind of see here. Here it is. And it looks beautiful, but unfortunately it's just finished flowering. There's still some little bits left. You can see around here. But it's mostly died off, and that was one of the really nice things about this run. The run still looks quite nice, I think. I've had a quick playback, it looks okay. The loop I did is 3.3 miles, and I'm going to stitch it together to make a 6 to 9 mile run, so that the actual video itself is a bit longer. I couldn't run that far, even if my leg was better now. I really struggled today with the run, really unfit, breathing was really heavy. I really struggled to keep my breathing down on the run. Hopefully it will turn out okay. It's not the run I wanted, but it's better than nothing. I couldn't run last week because of the injury, and last week was probably the last time I could have done it because the garlic was still flowering. Some of the parts of the run still look nice, so hopefully it'll come out well. Let's see. So the other thing is, today I'm getting my first COVID jab. So I'm a little bit nervous about that because I don't know if I'm going to get any side effects. I've heard some people getting quite ill from it, getting really bad headaches. Hopefully I'll be fine, but I don't know, maybe doing this run didn't help, who knows, but this was my last chance. I've also got physio this morning just before my vaccine, so hopefully that will sort me out with my leg and hopefully I'll be fine by the time I get my vaccine. Anyway, I'm going to leave you with a preview of this run. Hope you enjoy it and I'll catch you again soon. Bye! So it's been a week since that video, and since then two unexpected things have happened. The first is something stupid that I did. As many of you probably know, I make virtual runs and virtual walks on this channel, mostly virtual runs. And to do that, I use something called gimbal. And this is the gimbal I use. This is an iSteady Pro. And it's great because what you do is you put your camera in this little bit just here, and it stabilizes your camera as you run. So it keeps the camera nice and steady, sort of to the horizon as you're running. It's a great piece of kit, and it cost, this one in particular cost me £90. Although that was on a deal at the time, so you're looking at about £100 for one of these, so they're not cheap, and I can't afford to buy another one. But for some reason, on that Tuesday last week, I had my head switched off, and when I recorded the video you just saw, I had taken the camera out of the gimbal, and I'd put the gimbal down on the ground, just temporarily, just so that I could record the video. After that, I recorded a little bit of B-roll, and then I walked back to my car. And it wasn't until that night, just as I finished work, that I was packing my bag and I was looking through my camera bag and I thought, where's my gimbal? And it clicked, and I remembered that I had left the gimbal on the floor in the woodland that whole day, and it was about 7 PM by this time. So I quickly grabbed my keys, got in my car, and I rushed anxiously down to the woods. I got there, walked all the way down and looked around and around. I looked pretty much every square inch of place where I could have put the gimbal, and it wasn't there, it was gone. Somebody had taken it, and I was so gutted, and I started thinking, okay, what can I do now? And I had this idea of maybe making a video asking if people might want to donate towards another gimbal if they were interested in me making more videos, because without this gimbal I can't make more running videos, or more virtual run videos to be more precise, and I can't afford to buy a new gimbal, so that was going to be the end of virtual runs. So I thought, on the off chance, what I'll do is I'll just post on Facebook that this has happened and put it in 2 little groups. And I thought, the chances are nobody's even going to know what a gimbal is, let alone have seen it and picked it up. And even if they have picked it up, they probably won't want to accept that, and they probably want to keep it themselves. So I posted it on Facebook, and after a few hours, I had a few sad reactions, which was very nice of people, but not very helpful. And I thought, okay, that was a waste of time. And I was starting to plan how I was going to save up for a new gimbal. And actually this one is the version 2. And they don't make these anymore, they only make the version 3. And I kind of wanted the same one, so I was starting to think about different gimbals, and I started to look at that. And anyway, it got to Thursday morning. This was 2 days after I'd lost the gimbal. And I had a message on Facebook from some random person. And they said they'd saw my message on Facebook, and they'd found what they referred to as a selfie stick thingy, and they wanted me to confirm the make of the gimbal that I had lost. So I sent it to her, and it was actually my gimbal. She had picked up my gimbal and taken it, and so she just told me to come and collect it that night. So luckily through Facebook, I managed to get this back, and I can't believe that happened, because the chances of that, I mean, most people, if they saw that and picked it up, they just would have kept it for themselves. And to be honest, I was actually quite surprised anyone found it, because it was kind of in the bushes, so you'd have to have been looking around as you're walking. So very observant of her, and I'm very grateful. Anyway, I got it back. So the next thing is, of course, as I said, I had the COVID jab on the Tuesday. So later that night, I had a sore arm as expected. I had to go shopping, so I had to kind of put everything in the bags of one arm. But anyway, it was fine. The next day, I expected to feel bad, and I woke up feeling fine. Went to work, and I thought, okay, maybe later in the afternoon. And the whole day, fine. I thought, oh, brilliant. I've gotten away with it. That night, went to bed, felt a bit sort of groggy, but pretty much fine. The next morning I woke up and I felt really bad, and I went to work, and throughout the entire day I just felt worse and worse. I was getting fever, a bit of a headache, a bit of a sore throat, mucousy, a bit of a cough. I felt nauseous, and I just felt really run down, and I thought, oh no, it's just like a really delayed reaction. And by that night I felt even worse. By Friday I felt worse again. I felt like death. I actually had to take a sick day off work. I couldn't go in because I felt so bad. And I was really surprised, because everyone else in work that's had the COVID jab has just had a day off work at the most, because they've just felt bad for one day. And I'm the fittest one in work, so I thought I'd be fine. I thought I'd be able to recover quickly and get on with things. But by Friday I just felt worse. I felt really nauseous. And also on Thursday, by the evening, I started having strong stomach cramps, and those carried on Friday. And then by Saturday, not that you really want to hear this, but I started getting diarrhea. And the stomach cramps carried on, and I felt really bad. Luckily, the fever started to ease off a little bit by Sunday, and I started to feel a little bit more normal, but the diarrhea was still there, and it just carried on. And then by Monday, yesterday, I was starting to feel a bit better, but I still worked from home. And today I'm feeling a little bit better again, but I'm still working from home, but I'm still not feeling quite right, and it's really strange. And I'm starting to wonder if maybe it wasn't just the jab. Maybe by chance I picked up some other bug. I can't really see why, because all I did on that day was I had the jab, I went shopping, the next day I went to work, went home, went to work, went home, stayed at home. So I can't really see how I got ill. But anyway, I'm more or less over it, and I think in a few days' time I should be more or less back to normal. The good thing is, though, that my legs are feeling quite a lot better. And if it wasn't for feeling ill, I'd be up for going for a run. And I had physio just before I came here, so hopefully I should be able to go for a run soon and feel okay and not have more damage to my leg. So I'm in a place called Tucking Mill Reservoir. Just behind you is the reservoir, and this viaduct here has something called the two-tunnel cycle track on top. This direction goes towards Wellow, and that direction goes towards Bath. Just over there is what's called the Devonshire Tunnel, which you just saw. It's actually a mile-long tunnel, and about 55, 56 years ago, steam trains used to go through it. The line was called the Somerset and Dorset Railway, which used to go all the way from Bath down to Bournemouth. And it was also known as the Slow and Dirty, because going through those tunnels, it was quite a slog, and you can imagine how dusty and smoky it was. So anyway, that's the cycle track, and I'm going to call it a day now, because I'm actually feeling quite dizzy and a bit weak, I think because I'm still recovering. So if you enjoyed this video, give it a thumbs up and perhaps consider subscribing. I've got lots of content on this channel. Check it out. There's about 50 odd videos now. I've got lots of virtual runs and I plan to do lots more virtual runs. I've got lots of ideas for other videos, different challenges and all sorts of things. So stay tuned and those will come in the future hopefully. Either way, let me know in the comments below how your running's going. I'll be interested to know as well if you've had the COVID jab. I had the Pfizer one and I'll be interested to know if you had any side effects and if it affected your running at all. I haven't tried running yet, so I don't know what's going to happen. Hopefully, fingers crossed, I'll be fine. Either way, thanks for watching and I'll see you again soon. Bye. And this viaduct above me has on top of it what's called the Two Tunnels Railway. This direction goes towards Radstock, which is where I'm from, and this direction goes towards Bath, which is... So I'm in a place called Tucking Mill Reservoir. Just so behind you is the reservoir, and just this far